Good day, everyone. We are on the dot. Thank you very much for joining us. We know you all have busy schedules, so we really appreciate the time. Today's webinar is with Foresight and Seeq, and we are going to look at empowering faster decisions, leveraging expertise with AI-driven solutions. I will introduce myself and then ask my co-presenters to introduce themselves. I am Raiza Khan. I hold a chemical engineering degree and part of the asset performance management team at Foresight and have been with Foresight now for almost 6 years. Joanna?
Good day, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joanna Zinsley. I'm Director of Product Management at Seeq, and I also am a chemical engineer by training. Started my career in the refining industry, spent about 8 years in various roles as a process engineer, planning engineer, leading the planning and economics team, and I've been at Seeq for several years now, supporting both our customers and growing the product. Excited to talk to you all about AI today.
Hi everyone, I'm Carmi Bueta, also a qualified chemical engineer, makes 3 year today. I work at Theresa as an asset performance management engineer, and I've been at Foresight for almost 3 years now. Thanks for joining.
Okay, let's go to the agenda. So today we will give you a brief introduction to Foresight and Seeq. We'll then introduce you to Seek's advanced analytics and AI capability. And then we'll talk about some unavoidable truths with AI. And Joanna will show us how Seek overcomes them all. And then we'll look at a blueprint for a successful Seek journey. So I'll start off with the intro to Foresight. So Foresight is a JSE listed multinational diverse technology group. We have a level 1 BEE accreditation, and we deliver a portfolio of AI technology and data focused solutions. We embrace the convergence of OT, IT, and the BE worlds to create a meaningful impact and provide value for our partners. We empower our partners to future proof their businesses through digital AI transformation and thus enabling better and more informed decision making. Just a quick view of our operational numbers. So we are about 465 employees. We have a presence in over 73 countries with about 4,500 customers worldwide. And we've got 12 OEM vendor partners, with one of them being Seek, who's joining us today. An overview of the clusters within Foresight. So, Foresight is made up of 4 clusters: the business environment cluster, operational technologies cluster, information technologies, and the channel partner cluster. Karmi and I are in the operational technologies cluster, and I'll just delve a little deeper into that one. So, within the operational technologies cluster, there are 3 divisions. We've got automation, which focuses on digital energy, intelligent motor control, process automation, and not forgetting cybersecurity. Then we've got asset optimization. This is where Karmi and I are. Here we've got 4 BUs: MES, APC, APM, and digital transformation. And last but not least, asset simulation, which focuses on debottlenecking simulation, planning and scheduling, and business improvement. I'll now ask Joanna to introduce C.
Yeah, here's a quick intro of Seeq. We have been reimagining how people work with process data for over 10 years. Many of our team members have experience in the industry, which helps our wider organization understand our customers as we're creating new solutions for the industries we serve. We have about 280 customers across various manufacturing technologies of all sizes, and we're honored to partner with folks around the globe like Foresight. Thanks for hosting this discussion today. While we started as an analytics self-service tool, our customers have really pulled us to become an industrial monitoring platform to help accelerate improved operational outcomes. Our customers are using Seek to maximize productivity, improve reliability, improve quality, track towards their sustainability goals. All of these things are making a big difference for our customers' company bottom line.
Hey, so Karmi will dive into Seek's advanced analytics with an introduction into it. Karmi?
Okay, thanks, Reza. So let's start by grounding ourselves in the reality that many of the industrial organizations face today. So we're collecting more data than ever before in 2025, where we're right now. But yet, 85% of that data goes unused. That means that most of the insights that could improve efficiency, reliability, or safety are never uncovered. It's like buying a library and not even opening a single book. At the same time, more than 50% of the workforce needs upskilling. Engineers and operators are being asked to do more with more complex systems, and the traditional tools that they rely on haven't kept up. They need tools that they can actually use without needing to be data science experts. And despite heavy investments in digital transformation, almost 90% of companies aren't achieving the results they hope for. Not because the vision is wrong necessarily. Um, it's more about going from that path of raw data to actionable insights. It's still too slow and too complex, and it's too dependent on specific skills that people need to have. So this is where C closes that gap, and that's exactly what it was designed to do. So on the IT side, we often hear things like, "Oh, we can just use BI tools," or "machine learning will solve it," or "Ugh, we already have a data strategy for that," or in extreme cases, "Let's just write an app to solve that problem." These, in theory, do sound great, right? But here's what's actually happening on the OT side. Engineers spend hours, I mean, sometimes days in Excel, just trying to make sense of raw process data. BI tools are fantastic for transactional reporting, but they weren't designed for high resolution time series analytics. Machine learning is really powerful, but I mean, if only a handful of data scientists can use it, it doesn't scale really well. And even if your strategy is moving data to the cloud, it doesn't magically fix your noisy signals, gaps, misalignments, or any sampling issues in your data. And I mean, in the meantime, all of these requests from operations keep growing faster than IT can help them. So the gap between what we think will work and what actually works is really huge. And this is why we need a purpose built approach, one that empowers engineers and SMEs to analyze time series data quickly without having to wait for IT support. And that's where C comes in. Now, you might be wondering, why is it difficult to work with time series data? So here we have the top 5 challenges that comes in when working with time series data. First of all, we have data alignment. Signals don't line up. There's different time zones, different engineering units, and sampling rates, and all of that. Uh, that means that you have to do interpolation just to compare two tags. Second, we have trending. Now, that might not sound that serious, but with millions of data points, even simple actions like zooming in or downsampling can be too slow or inaccurate unless the tool you're using is specifically built to do it. Next up, our third point is data cleansing. We have gaps and spikes and drops here and there. All of that corrupt analysis, and it takes a huge amount of time to fix manually. Next up, we have calculations. Now, of course, there's more complicated things to do, but just think of things like the time weighted averages, your derivatives, or running totals, things like that. These are essential for process analytics, but it's very difficult to do them in Excel or use BI tools for that. And last, but definitely not the least, actually, the most important, data alone isn't enough. You need context from things like your SQL databases, your MESs, batch systems, EAM systems, lab results, to understand why things are happening. All these challenges make advanced analytics difficult with general purpose tools. And I mean, trust me, I love Excel as much as the next engineer. But this is exactly where Seek shines because it's purpose built for OT data and handles these complexities out of the box. Now, let's look at how Seek supports organizations as they mature and how this innovation pyramid we have here represents that journey. At the base, we have self service analytics. This is where engineers and operators explore trends, investigate events, or solve daily problems without having to wait for IT. A process engineer might overlay some temperatures, whip up a feed rate there, put some lab data on there as well to diagnose some deviations. An operator might want to compare the way a pump is performing today versus how it performed when it was brand new. This is what you call real digital empowerment. Now, as organizations grow, they move into the time series analytics platform layer. Here, IT becomes involved. We integrate multi source data sets, like I mentioned before, historians, SQLs, MESs, lab results, maintenance systems. And that's where analytics start to scale across business units. Teams collaborate on a shared foundation instead of isolated tools. Next up, we have industrial enterprise monitoring. Now, this is the real step change. This is where analytics become continuous and automated. A mining company can, for example, monitor health across crushers, haul trucks, conveyors, and any other circuit. A chemical company can automatically track energy intensity across global sites and get alerts when performance starts to drift. Insights become operational, supporting daily and weekly decisions. Now, at the top is where we want to be, our enterprise outcomes, our North Star. We want to see the value. So this is where organizations would see that actual measurable value, your improved reliability, your energy savings, reduced downtime, lower emissions, higher OEE, greater sustainability. I can go on. Um, and this is where Seek really becomes a strategic value driver. This journey in our pyramid here shows how Seek has always focused on enabling engineers and operators to do more with their own data. And what's exciting now is how AI builds directly on that foundation, making analytics faster, more intuitive, and even more accessible. So, with that little bit of context, I'll pass it over to my co presenters to explore the AI side in a bit more detail and to show you what it looks like in practice. Joanna is going to take you through Seek's AI capability.
Thanks, Carmi. Seek has always been focused on the subject matter expert and improving their workflows to maximize return on investment and minimize time to value. And that story doesn't really change for us with respect to AI. With the subject matter expert engaged, seamless data connectivity, easy access to industry expertise and analytics best practices, all built on top of a world-class time series calculation engine that's designed for enterprise scale, we continue to enable our customers to tackle tough problems. And while I'm going to be talking about generative AI in today's discussion, Seek is a player in the wider AI space as well. We offer a variety of machine learning approaches that follow these same principles about being SME centric and easy access to data and scalability, in case you're more excited about not generative AI. We have had a handful of agents available to our customers over the almost 2 years now, and these help people learn faster and do more, regardless of where they are in Seek. We started with general Q&A agents and matured to an actions agent. So those Q&A agents help people, how do I think about this analysis? Find me particular periods of interest based on natural language guidance. And then the actions agent is really can perform analytics at the speed of thought guided by an individual. So we'll get to see what that looks like in a little bit. We're also releasing our AI analyst early next year. It's a step change to even further augment subject matter expertise by partnering with users as they work to understand operations or perform investigations. And Seeq AI is available just anywhere you are in Seeq. I won't spend a lot of time on this slide, but there's a lot of capabilities that we won't have time to demo today. So anything you've come to know and be familiar with, if you use other GenAI interfaces, you'll find present in Seeq, like history, memories, ability to share, and what is additional as you work with the AI in Seeq, it documents what it's doing for you as well, kind of an extension of history so that you can retrace the AI steps just as you would retrace your own steps. While we're really excited, we've gone all in on AI. We believe the best intelligence is not artificial, it is human intelligence amplified. So we know there will be some automation that AI brings, but our focus is really on empowering people as it has been from the start of Seeq, empowering people so that they can become more efficient. So let's look at what amplified human intelligence means. The next slide. We want to help our customers turn individual knowledge into shared enterprise intelligence. So you all have subject matter experts in your organizations, and they hold a wealth of knowledge. They are a valuable asset, but they change roles. Sometimes they change organizations, and when they leave, that's a big loss of information. We are working to help you extract some information from them and codify it into Seeq, whether that's through the analytics that are done in Seeq or through routine monitoring and triage workflows, adding additional information alongside the data so that can be used by other people in the future the next time something like this happens. So codifying those learnings, making them available is one way that we're amplifying human expertise. AI has already been helping people go faster and farther, completing tasks in a fraction of the time. Without AI, we brought scheduled docs to market many years ago, and that's just a scheduled report that runs behind the scenes. That was a huge accelerator for many of our customers, huge time saver, and we're reimagining how that might work differently with AI, and we'll get to see a little bit of what that looks like today. But as we're working with AI, we know that trust is important, and we want to make sure everything is transparent and traceable. So as the AI does work for you, you can see its work steps along the way. Everything AI is doing is using Seeq underlying calculations anyways, which can also increase your trust in the results. And links are always provided to help you build understanding while you're getting help from AI. Next slide. I won't read all of these, but we've had over 240 of our customers working with AI over the last 2 years, and many of them are really pleased with how it's helping them go much faster. Feels like they're cheating a little bit, the fast forward button on analytics. So we're really excited about how this technology can further help individuals as they're driving the same improvements to their operations using Seeq.
Okay, so like Joanna mentioned, there are many who have used AI successfully to improve productivity and efficiency. But we still have to keep in mind that there are still some unavoidable truths when utilizing AI. So I'll briefly go through these, and then Joanna and I will deep dive them all, and you will see how Seek overcomes each and every one of them. First up, we've got autonomy amplifies strategic flaws. So the AI won't question the correctness of what it is instructed to do. It will execute the instruction exactly as it is given, even if that instruction is flawed. Siloed autonomy. So you've got AI agents operating in silos, right? They will optimize for their own objectives. That broader operational context won't be considered in its logic. And that results in disconnected systems, conflicting metrics, and agents not integrated and unable to collaborate on their findings. And the last one, speed without guardrails breeds crisis. So this is like using the wrong tool, right, for a highly critical task. Now imagine you're trying to cut steel, but you're using a wood saw. Seems like a good idea at first. It may work, but ultimately you're going to damage the tool and the material itself. Now, it's also similar to what we're all guilty of, right? Trying to use Excel for everything. Now, in the same way, unconstrained autonomy in AI can lead to rapid decisions that cause breakdowns and crisis. Innovation needs the right tools and guardrails, safety checks, alignment to ensure that speed doesn't turn into disaster. So now let's delve a bit deeper into these and see how Seek overcomes it. So the first one, autonomy amplifies strategic flaws. So weakness in strategy, let's say data, decisions will be amplified. We have to remember that AI will not just copy mistakes, it will spread it at great speed. Right now, there's a number of reasons why this happens. One of them being AI relies on your judgment. It doesn't have a judgment of its own, and it will just follow your instruction even if it's flawed. There's less human oversight. AI can give you that false sense of security, and this can result in less oversight until the damage is too major. AI is highly dependent on data. Poor or biased data, hey, AI is going to use it regardless. But it will make the problem bigger, and because we trust it, we won't catch it immediately. So, Joanna, how will Seek overcome this?
As I've talked about SMEs being the center, Seek has been designed by subject matter experts for subject matter experts, and that extends to our approach with AI also. So we've really added a lot of additional information that the AI is fed alongside the chat that an end user provides to enrich it further and maximize successful outcomes. We also create opportunity for the SME to work more with AI and improve those steps so that they won't have some flawless outcome or some flawed outcomes. And then also we bring up the opportunity for AI to help people document what they're doing, and that can increase understanding being guided by AI. And then also documenting your work can increase understanding to trust the outcomes that you're seeing. So we can see a little bit of what that looks like with a demo. So our AI assistant is available throughout the product, and we've recently added a library of use cases to guide users through an analysis. Several of these will be created by Seek, our subject matter experts, but you can also create your own and share them internally. So I'm going to do this daily production example where I ask the AI to walk me through a use case of looking at downtime analysis. And it tells me the 8 steps I'm going to need to think about from starting from getting data, but then it walks me through step by step. So what's the name of the tag that I want to use? I'm going to look at power production from this particular asset. I just pasted a screenshot from somewhere else on the screen to give it guidance of where exactly I wanted to find that tag. So we have image support as well to make it easy. Picture's worth 1,000 words. And then it's going to go ahead and find that signal that I want to perform my analysis on and add it to the trend. I immediately can see it there, so I know, is this the right one? I can inspect it. It asks me to consider more time. So I just manually changed the date range to look at a week. And we proceed to the next step. It advises data cleansing. Do I want to do data cleansing? This is an important step of an analysis. In this case, for simplicity, I'm going to say let's go to the next step again. but if I wanted to, it could help me consider ways to do that data cleansing. So our next step is identifying downtimes and considering how we do calendar days. So we're going to define downtimes when power is less than 0 and combine any downtimes that are close to each other so we don't have lots of tiny ones if the signal's a little noisy. And then we're just going to work with standard calendar days. A lot of our customers, operation starts at 8 a.m. or there's different shifts. There are lots of different ways to do an analysis. This gives a little bit of guidance. And then from the instructions that have been provided by either a subject matter expert, someone on your team, someone at Seeq, it continues to create those calculations and show them to you again on the trend alongside. So now we have downtimes highlighted in purple, days as well, and it just continues to create the calculations. Now we're looking at doesn't need user to interfere when it knows what to do, only reaches out for input when necessary. And we can inspect what it's creating and Seeq new items, how those calculations work, so that we can use those in the future or understand what's been going on. And then just visually compare, here we have a lot of purple bars, and that's where there's more downtime daily. It prompts us for the next step. How else do you want to visualize this? Providing a couple options. We say, let's look at a table. So it goes ahead and does all the magic necessary to get a table of the information that you and the AI have created together. So this is, it ran into a little bit of an error, but hey, it can be flexible and bounce back to create what it needs. And now we have a table of production values and downtime daily so that we can track this going forward. Anything that it creates, we can again modify slightly here. So I'm just changing the titles, adjusting the look to meet what I want. And now anything one person does is great for their knowledge to grow, but you probably want to share your knowledge with others as well. So we're going to create a report with all the worksheets that we have here. We had this chart, or the chart that we were looking at, and the table, and AI can help us automate that workflow. Also, we don't have to create things manually. Just say, throw this into a report for me, and then here in this space in Seeq Organizer, you can do any modifications you want to update your report and schedule that on an ongoing basis to send you an email of how downtime is tracking on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, whatever it might be. So that's a quick view of AI guided by an SME. And here is documentation. Let's look at this one. So analytics can be tough. And here we're walking into an analysis that we aren't familiar with. And AI can help us by creating a journal entry. Seeq has had this concept of journals for as long as I can remember, where you're supposed to document your thoughts or your approach of the analysis, but really feasibly, it's hard as you're an engineer in the weeds to remember to document. But AI is great for that. So just by asking it to do the documentation, it's looking at the items that are in the display and all the calculations that it took to get there. It understands all of that and can recreate, explain it and recreate intermediate steps so that you can walk through and understand what was applied across the time of the analysis. It might be something that you do over a year, or it might be something you do over just a couple of days. This is really helpful. Just like any other AI, you need to review it, read it, maybe make some edits, but it's a great way to get started and make sure you're documenting so that either you or whoever comes next can really understand the approach you took with the analysis and get going a little bit more quickly. And all of these links also, they're updating the display and they're making it available for you to see the items that were involved along the way as well. So you can understand, dive in, be curious, dive in and understand what was going on.
Okay. So, like Joanna said, it's driven by subject matter experts. I mean, in that case, flawed instructions is highly unlikely. Let's go to the second one. So, siloed autonomy. So, this occurs when you've got different AI agents, for example, like your condition monitoring agent and your production agent, operating independently without coordination with each other. Now, each chases its own goal, right? So, one is focusing on reducing wear, and the other one is focusing on maximizing throughput. In a plant, for example, this can mean the monitoring agent will slow down production to protect the equipment. But then you've got the production agent pushing throughput to meet targets. Now, both are doing their jobs. There's nothing wrong with that. But they are doing it without alignment. So you get bottlenecks, you get inefficiencies, and missed KPIs. And the solution here is integrating these agents under a shared objective. So, Joanna, tell us a little more about the ecosystem connectivity of Seek and how it will overcome this.
Definitely. Ecosystem connectivity is at our core with connecting to data from different data sources from the beginning. And now working with agents is just another opportunity to stretch out into that ecosystem. So whether it's through model context protocol or open APIs or maybe even closed APIs that are within a company, those are ways we're exploring connecting from agents to agents, agentic workflows. Also, we expect with agentic workflows, you're not always going to be using the same interface. So how can you reach to Seek's AI, whether you're starting um, from Copilot or some other place, or when you're in Seek, how can you reach out to other AIs that you may have developed internally that talk to your documents? So those are things we're definitely working on to make possible. Extending Seek agents with custom tools is another piece. We've been extensible for a long time through our Python platform Data Lab, but that's just growing to apply to the AI world as well. So we can see a couple examples of what that looks like on the next slide. So first, we are going to see how talk to the docs kind of interface works. How should I troubleshoot a PID controller? And this is just like any talk to your docs interface, but what makes it different is it's in Seek. So if you're doing an analysis and you suddenly have a question about your documentation, you don't have to jump out of Seek and go look at Copilot or somewhere else where your company documents are. You can ask that question in place with this ecosystem connectivity in mind and get access to the documents that you would have gotten elsewhere. So that's supported through um, ecosystem support. Another example is extending the tools. So here I asked, can you tell me who has used this room? And that's a question that out of the box, we might not be able to answer, but I know enough about my system and I can provide a little bit of information through a data lab project to guide AI to take some extra steps. So here's a little example of a MCP, Model Context Protocol, notebook in Data Lab, and I'm just providing a little bit of code to give an example of how it can go find that usage information. So that is just one way of extending and connecting. A lot of our customers are thinking about work order creation in this space. So when we're doing something in Seek, we want to reach out to problem has been identified. We want to reach out to some third-party system and create work orders. This is going to be one approach that's being explored for those use cases.
Okay, thanks, Joanna, 100%. So, like you said, with the custom tooling allowing the customers to break down the data silos and access the information regardless of where it is, we already enabling more informed data-driven decision making. Now, let's look at the last one. So, speed without guardrails breeds crisis. We all guilty here, right? Attempting to do complex, advanced analytics in Excel. We know the tool is not capable of doing this advanced analytics. But now, can you imagine putting AI on top of this? You've heard the saying, right? Garbage in equals garbage out, but now it's faster. So the AI will output flawed results because the foundation is weak, right? We overconfident in these false results, but what is happening is that the models are oversimplified in Excel and they're incomplete. Hence, just by the illusion of AI providing credible results, you'll have that false sense of security. Joanna, can you tell us what type of guardrails do you recommend when utilizing AI, and how does Seek overcome this?
Yeah, this one is a challenge, but I think part of the guardrails are selecting the right tool for the job. Get out of Excel if you're doing analytics in Excel, or I don't know. Excel has its place, but for time series stuff, get the right tool for the job. But guardrails are also around the data set that's provided whenever you're working with AI, giving the right information to AI. Um, and we're putting a lot of effort in to help that be smooth for the users. So next, we're going to see how our AI analysts can perform simple to complex analyses, whether it's on demand or on a schedule. So this is our AI analyst. We're in Seek Vantage where we do triage of events. And we're just going to start with a simple question. How many excursions or downtimes were there on a single area this weekend? And so this analyst is actually reasoning on its own. What data do I need to answer this question? And responds quickly. There were 3 excursions. That's just a simple one. Maybe you want to make it a little bit harder. Which site, we're monitoring many sites, had the most excursions in the last week? And then I want to see a bar chart comparing the count of them. So again, this AI is doing its reasoning, gathering the data it needs to attack the problem at hand and taking the approach it finds appropriate. Along the way, we show progress here in the side panel, and then as it's done, we'll also have access to steps along the way. So here we get the results. Area I is the outlier, area C is next in line. We can inspect that, and we can really see, okay, what were you thinking? How did you make that decision? What information were you presented with to come to the conclusion that you've presented me? That helps me trust the information, and it helps me troubleshoot if it looks a little different, troubleshoot and understand how the AI is doing its job. So how about how many downtimes are associated with planned or unplanned maintenance? When you're in Vantage, you can add additional context, whatever that might be, explaining downtimes, uh, indicating that a model needs maintenance, and that human information that's added to the system is also available to AI to provide responses here. So we can have ad hoc chats all we want with AI, but we can also give it more guardrails. I want to see a specific result. Here's a monthly report that I had designed. So anytime the monthly report is engaged with, it needs to take these specific instructions, perform the analysis by these instructions, and give me the report with the specified formatting that I've requested. So it highlights the 8 steps it's going to take and then provides me the results. And this I'm interacting with right now in the side chat, but I could also get this running on a schedule or get it outside of the side chat. But this is a way to have consistent feedback, at least, even though the data will be changing. We get this nice executive summary that is provided by AI after looking at the data. So we can see this in the side panel, or we can also export it back to our reporting interface in Organizer topic. And we'll see what that looks like. And that full chat is available here, but is also editable so that we can remove, some of the steps it was going to take and really focus on the report outcome. And from this interface, we can share that with an email to colleagues or just share this page with colleagues so they can see our report as well. So this is providing guidance, specified guidance, so that you're putting a little bit of guardrails on, and then getting a consistent output, even though the data will change over time. And this is, I think, an exciting way to continue reimagining how we'll be doing routine reports. Our customers are looking for, that the the problem of coming to work in the morning hasn't changed over the last 30 years. How do you understand what happened while you were sleeping? And AI can help out with that problem. So in summary, we are excited about human intelligence and amplifying human intelligence at Seeq, and are excited for AI to be a part of that. Keeping the human in the loop is really important for us. Back to you, Risa.
Definitely. Thank you, Joanna. So, I mean, with Seek, all of them but the dust there, actually. Now, for those of you that already have Seek, I'm sure you just want to go play with the AI and test the capability on your own. And for those of you that don't have a Seek license yet, I hope that after this webinar, you're going to go scramble for budget to get it. But when you have it, how do you make it successful? How do you make it stick? I'm going to take you through the steps of how to implement it successfully and ensure that you have adoption. So, the first one, you need to ensure site management buy in because without management support, even the best tool will fail. Next up, you need to identify the key stakeholders and communication plans. So, map out who's going to utilize the tool, who is it going to impact, and create a communication plan that will keep them engaged and informed. Next, engage the potential stakeholders on pain points. Listen to them. Understand the pain points so that Seek solves what matters most first. Next, define your measures of success. This must be done early on so that you know what you are working towards. Set your KPIs up front, right? Whether it's reduced downtime or faster insights, for example. Then you should define your value capture methodology. So outline how are you going to capture the value? How are you going to track it? How are you going to report on it? Because you have to remember that everyone reacts to what value something brings them. And this will help to keep the momentum going and it will justify your investment. Next, perform a data readiness assessment. So assess the data quality and accessibility. Don't just try to integrate it without seeing how accessible it is first. Next up, connecting that data. So breaking the silos and connecting the sources, because this is the first step where Seek starts delivering value. Next up, we've got training your key stakeholders. So empower your teams with training. Let them get an opportunity to understand the tool. What are the inputs? What are the outputs of these tools? Followed by perform a use case consultation. So tackle the high impact use case first, right? You want to have a quick win and you want to build confidence in the tool. Next, you want to celebrate that success, right? So you want to let everyone know about this win. What was the problem? How did Seek help you solve it? What was the value attached to that? And then don't just stick on one use case. You need to expand to other use cases. And for every use case that you have a success with, celebrate it. Remember that this is going to keep alignment with the teams and it's going to make them more enthusiastic to utilize the tool. And last but not least, have at least quarterly reviews with the OEM, right? Where you speak to them about the wins you've had, but also bring to their attention any drawbacks that you are experiencing with the tool because they need this information in order to help you. Now, you've heard a lot about how great Seek is, right? But I'm sure you're wondering where has Seek given some successes. So the first one up is at a mining company where engineers needed a holistic view of operations to meet mineral recovery targets. And what they did was they used Seek to monitor particle size and grinding activities in real time. By doing this, they were able to achieve and increase their copper recovery by 1.5%. I mean, this is a major operational and sustainability win. Next up is another company who faced a reporting challenge. So before Seek, it took them about 3 weeks to generate reports, and the accuracy of the reports was a concern. They then started using Seek, and Seek helped standardize the reporting, and it cut that time down into just 2 hours. The accuracy was improved dramatically, and the engineers were given time back, to focus on other things and create alerts, notifications, improve on models without relying on IT. And that's empowerment and efficiency in action. And last but not least, a glass manufacturing company runs coating lines. And as you can imagine, this is at extremely high speeds. So it made downtime analysis very difficult for them because of noisy data. So what Seek did is it helped pinpoint when and why the issues were occurring, right? So it enabled them to take corrective action before they experienced the downtime or had bad product. They've saved for every avoided incident, actually, a whopping $1 million per avoided incident. And I really hope this webinar was informative and we hear from you very soon. Please feel free to email questions, uh, leave it in the chat. We will be sure to get back to you. We really appreciate the time that you've taken to join us, and we hope to hear from you soon. Take care, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.